Like many musicians in Portland, the guitarist Zach Nelson has a day job to help him pay the bills. In the past, he did everything from filling up bottles of gin to working the early shift at a chocolate factory to make ends meet. But these days, when he's not performing with his band or composing scores for indie film projects, he clocks in to craft artisan guitar effect pedals for the company Catalan Bread. And after Nelson finishes a regular work shift at his day job, he heads home to craft experimental effect pedals under his own brand.
Hi, I'm Zach Nelson, and I am the owner, operator, builder of Safe House Audio, a DIY experimental pedal business, and I'm also a composer, guitar player, and a local Portland band On.
Nelson started out learning how to fix his own broken effect units, but it was only after the pandemic hit in 2020 that he began to make them himself.
When I started building pedals, I call it Safe House because I got really into older spy movies during COVID. So I would just sit and solder and then have my computer screen in front of me. And I've always loved that idea of, the guy working reel-to-reel machines in some hidden room in a basement somewhere, the spy safe house with all the gadgets or whatever.
Often in brightly colored housings with chunky knobs, they mysteriously have no labeling as to what they do. They are truly made for other musicians that appreciate Nelson's artistry and creativity, rather than a mass audience.
As soon as I started building something very strange, very experimental, I always wanted to do something like that. And since then, that is still what I do now, trying to put together very, very weird circuits, these unique one-offs that I use, obviously, all the time and sell to people around, country or the city or the world, whatever. And that has been my mission of just making weird things that make people go, oh, sick, okay, cool, huh. Yeah, for sure, I'll have that. Can you make me another?
From the Gert Boyle studio, I'm Jen Chavez, and this is The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB about the place you call home. When you hear the words craft or artisan mentioned together with Portland, you might tend to think of beer or coffee, but it could also very easily be artisan amplifiers and handcrafted cables. From custom-made guitars to Nelson's individually soldered effects pedals, the city has a vibrant boutique audio manufacturing industry closely intertwined with the local music scene. Today, I'm going to hand the show over to Portland writer Mark Young to tell us about how Oregon became known as a place where people make a lot of very cool audio equipment.
Small brands like the Cole Guitar Co., Benson Amps, Spaceman Effects Pedals, and Divine Noise audio cables have all gained fans far beyond Oregon's borders. But they also have a devoted hometown following that's helped make Portland such a gear hotspot.
I'm sure other places have their guitar makers, amp makers, pedal makers, but I don't know as many of those people all clustered into one area or one city anywhere else.
That's Peter Holmstrom, the lead guitarist for the Dandy Warhols, one of Portland's biggest rock bands. Back when the band formed in the 1990s, he says both the local music and gear maker scenes were much smaller and therefore tied closely together.
I got my first Cole guitar back 2010, 2011, because I had finally seen one of his guitars that I was like, oh wow, that's perfect, I want that. I had met Saul much earlier. He used to work out at 12th fret, and he was the guy that was repairing my guitars and doing setups before tours. And I knew he built guitars, but then he posted a picture of a guitar that had this kind of pickup that I was fascinated with, and there were 3 of them, and it was just this stunning guitar. And I kind of sent him a message about it, and he's like, well, you can borrow it.
It's that familiarity that has led to widespread creative cross-pollination over the years. And it's why Holmstrom can quickly set up an all Portland-made rig in his basement studio. plugging in his Cole guitar into Spaceman effect pedals and a Sour Sound amp, all connected with Divine Noise audio cables. Getting ready to play some Pacific Northwest shows with his other Portland band, Son Adams, Holmstrom says he knows if he ever has an issue with any of his equipment, he can simply pick up the phone and get help from a gear maker just minutes away from his house. Not that he likely would ever have an issue, Portland audio equipment has an impeccable reputation for a reason: handmade quality and extreme attention to detail. That quickly becomes apparent visiting the backyard workshop of Gil Devine, the maker of famously tough Divine Noise audio cables. Working alongside his wife, Nicole, and their large yet friendly Doberman pinschers, Devine is another direct connection between the music and gear scenes. Once a touring guitar tech for bands such as Yo La Tengo, the White Stripes, and the National, he started making world-class audio cables in an effort to get ahead of the destructive tendencies of some of the musicians he worked with.
There's a lot of pressure being a guitar tech. Every aspect of the guitar player's rig is all on you. It's your responsibility. So having an inferior cable will stop the show. And next thing you know, you'll have like thousands of people staring at you, expecting you to fix it. And it's a nightmare experience. So I wanted to make it so that would never happen to me. And that's basically a part of being a guitar tech is finding issues before they happen and making it so it doesn't happen. I saw how cables fail and I saw what not to do. I basically designed my own cable.
Nowadays, his custom cables are known for their unrivaled quality and durability. He's made special orders for the likes of Jack White, Dinosaur Jr.'s Jay Mascis, Jeff Tweedy from Wilco, and many other well-known artists.
To build a cable right, it takes years of experience to really do it well. You know, soldering isn't hard, but to solder really well, it's an art form. It's combining the components with the care and the craftsmanship. That makes a great cable.
Proof that he's onto something are the piles of orders his wife Nicole packs and ships out every day. Yet despite the popularity of his products, Devine chose to build his workshop in his own backyard, specifically to shield his enterprise from Portland's rising rents.
The whole reason why we built this space was so we wouldn't be beholden to landlords, because we had friends that owned companies and their rents were being jacked up. It'd be really difficult to start a company in Portland these days because it's so expensive to live.
At the same time, both Gil and Nicole recognize the city seems to have a unique combination of elements helping to create a healthy audio gear maker scene.
Portland's beautiful, but the weather can be inhospitable for some people. We're weird. We tend to be crafty, and this is very conducive to that. We work throughout the year. There isn't really a slow time.
Still, concerns about those economic pressures are shared by the Portland music community at large.
Portland's a difficult city to start a business in at this point.
That's the producer Larry Crane, who recorded with the legendary Portland singer-songwriter Elliott Smith in the 90s.
It wasn't when I started, nearly 30 years ago, because when I opened the studio commercially, my rent was $500 a month. Now it's more.
Crane also publishes the highly respected recording magazine Tape Op. He says the city's musicians have always been very DIY when it comes to gear, mentioning how the Portland proto-punk band Wipers used to tinker with their amps.
The Wipers, right? Greg Sage's band, they used to be here, started in the 70s. Greg built like his own preamps, and he built all kinds of stuff. He knew tube technology and how to build stuff. And so like some of his early records were recorded on his own gear, And Elliott Smith even used one of his preamps that a friend of ours had to do his second record, his self-titled record. And so, there's a history of that. Number one, like if you can figure out how to do it, maybe you can save some money and make it yourself. And, that's blended into just the whole ethos of a lot of everything here. People start their own labels, people start their own clubs, people do all these things, in town. They start recording studios. They do all these things in Portland because no one's telling you not to, and we want to make things happen.
Nowadays, Crane gets the opportunity to test out locally made gear at his Jackpot recording studio. During a recent visit, he showed off the newest microphone from Ear Trumpet Labs, a hefty brass nugget emitting an aura of handcrafted quality. It was created by a self-described lifelong tinkerer who started making microphones in his Portland basement 11 years ago.
I'm Philip Graham from Ear Trumpet Labs. We're a boutique microphone maker. We hand build condenser mics that have kind of a niche as bringing studio quality microphones for live sound applications. I had been making guitar amps and some tube preamps and things like that just to sort of keep my sanity from my day job as a software engineer. I needed to make some actual physical things. And when my daughter, Maliki, took up music and songwriting and wanted to record some of her own things, that was the first time I really thought about microphones and was going to help her with a project to record.
You're in the basement, packing the last of your things.
Graham says his microphones, originally made from repurposed lighting and plumbing hardware, were never designed for the mass market. Instead, they're meant to give discerning acoustic musicians, such as bluegrass artists, better sound while performing live on stage. His latest creation, the brass nugget seen at Larry Crane's recording studio, has been several years in the making, but he's always had the support of the city's wider music community.
When I was first starting out, the local music scene was incredibly supportive and important to me. You know, I was still building them one at a time in my basement when Larry first came over, and he took a couple back to Jackpot and tried them out. Portland has always been that kind of welcoming, curious, friendly, supportive environment.
But even if the city currently seems to have a unique ecosystem for bespoke audio gear makers, Graham stresses that it shouldn't be taken for granted that it will stay that way forever.
Small manufacturing in general is something that Portland is going to really have to think hard about how to keep affordable spaces for that.
Coming up after a break, Mark Young talks to some folks who have a vision for how to make Portland a music hub. Thanks for listening to The Evergreen, our podcast from OPB about the place you call home. If what you're hearing sounds good to you, subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app, and we'll brighten your Monday morning a little bit with something new and exciting to listen to each week. You can also follow OPB on Instagram at OPBphoto, or follow me directly at Jen Chavez OPB. That's Jen with 2 N's, and I'll keep you posted on everything Team Evergreen is up to. And remember, this episode about boutique audio equipment and all the great OPB reporting and storytelling you hear on this show is made possible by the support of many thousands of OPB members. Music to my ears. Support our journalism by becoming an OPB sustaining member today at opb.org/pod. And now, back to the show.
Right now, we are looking at about 160 instrument and gear manufacturers across the state of Oregon, with far more than half of that in the Portland metro area.
Mara McLaughlin runs the local industry trade group Music Portland. Married to the mic maker Philip Graham, she says boutique audio brands like her husband's are an integral part of Portland's music scene and are something the city needs to cherish and nurture.
I think having a much more strategic view of this sector is going to be needed to keep these manufacturers from moving outside and from moving to other cities that maybe make it easier. Music Portland has been trying for a number of years, with some very exciting starts and stops, to create some kind of a music hub. And this is where that civic strategy comes in, and where we need support of policymakers and investment from the community as a whole to create a stable place where manufacturers can share resources, can have their own thing, there's the appropriate noise protection, and that it also becomes a tourist attraction because many of these brands are fanatically loved. And so the idea of a music fan coming to Portland to see our great live music and also to be able to meet with the person that made their amp, and see the shop.
With the city facing a yawning budget gap next year, no one is expecting any sort of financial assistance for the music sector. But some awareness for how special and how fragile its network of creative audio brands is would be a good start.
I think that there's a lot that the city could do to intentionally support these makers, these businesses, these folks who are trying to earn a living in our community. My name is Jamie Dunphy. I'm a Portland City Councilor for District 1. I'm a former semi-professional musician myself. I spent my 20s in the back of a tour bus.
Dunphy, who took office as part of a revamped city council this year, sees boutique gear makers as a key part of Portland's broader music economy that, along with live performance venues and recording studios, could be an important catalyst for much-needed economic development in the city's depressed urban core.
It requires very little effort on the part of the city to pick up something that is already here. I've said this on the campaign trail, but if we found a $3 billion lithium mine under downtown Portland, by the end of the week, we'd be a lithium city. But we have a $3 billion music industry here, and the city has never embraced our identity as a music city. If we don't embrace it soon, it will diminish, it will go away.
As for concrete steps, Dunphy believes the city's development agency, Prosper Portland, should be promoting the music sector like it does the outdoor, apparel, and tech industries. He also sees music-related activities as a potential way to reinvigorate tourism that still hasn't recovered to pre-pandemic levels.
With a little bit of support, with a little bit of cheerleading, with a little bit of infrastructure, our music economy could be a driver for our community, for what the next chapter of Portland looks like.
With potentially disastrous U.S. import tariffs on things like affordable electronic components looming, some sort of official support could be an important lifeline for the city's audio equipment manufacturers. Arguably, many of Portland's boutique gear makers aren't in it for the money. Of course they want to make a decent living, but ultimately it's about craft and pouring your heart into something you're passionate about. Certainly for Zach Nelson, making unique guitar pedals and music are simply different parts of the same creative endeavor.
Pedals are great, gear's sick, but at the end of the day, it's to make music, make great art, make great records. That's like why I do what I do. I'm still obsessed with sound. That's all I really think about for the most part.
And making his own equipment has, in fact, even altered his sonic sensibilities.
Building pedals has helped me as an artist, as a creative, change things. It makes me approach sound in a very different way.
Thanks for listening to The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB. Mark Young produced this episode, and our technical director is Stephen Cray. Nalene Silva engineered the episode. The OPB podcast team also includes Mia Estrada, Julie Sabatier, Sage Van Wing, and me. Mark Young did the interviews you heard. Music in this episode is courtesy of the band On, Safe House Audio, and Malachi Graham. Additional music comes from Audio Network. And hey, if you have a question for us about cool audio gear or anything else, please reach out. Email us at theevergreen@opb.org. I'm Jen Chavez. Catch you later.
If you can see, the numbers all go to 11. Look, right across the board. 11, 11,
and most of
11,
the
and then
amps go up to 10.
Exactly.